What separates those who rise from those who collapse is not luck, not connections, not even talent. It's the way they think. Your entire life is built on the foundation of your thoughts. If your thinking is weak, your life will be weak. If your thinking is powerful, your life will be powerful. That's the truth most people run from. The question is, are you ready to take control of your mind and rewire the way you think? Your mind is the most valuable possession you will ever have. People spend their entire lives protecting their homes, their bank accounts, their careers, but they leave their thoughts wide open, exposed to anyone and anything that wants to walk in. Every single thing you consume, what you watch, what you listen to, who you talk to, becomes raw material for your future. If you are careless with what you feed your mind, don't be surprised when your life feels chaotic, directionless, and heavy. The truth is simple: your life is nothing more than the reflection of what you allow into your head. If you want your future to change, you must start by protecting your mental environment with ruthless precision. Think about it. If you had a vault filled with gold, would you let just anyone walk in and take what they wanted? Of course not. Yet people allow toxic conversations, destructive media, and negative influences to slip into their minds every single day. That one harmless gossip session, that one mindless scroll through social media, that one conversation with someone who always doubts you, it all adds up. Thoughts don't just visit you for a moment. They stay, they echo, they take root. And once they are planted, they grow silently until they become beliefs. And beliefs, whether empowering or destructive, shape your destiny. The danger is that most people don't even notice this happening. They tell themselves, it's just entertainment, it doesn't affect me. But everything affects you. That late night drama you watch before bed, those memes you laugh at but secretly absorb, that friend who constantly complains, all of it is programming your mind. Your subconscious doesn't filter entertainment from reality. It accepts whatever you give it. And soon enough, your thoughts become heavy with negativity, your confidence begins to shrink, and your perspective on life becomes smaller. Without realizing it, you begin building a life that reflects the noise around you instead of the power within you. The opposite is also true. When you surround yourself with ideas that expand you, people who inspire you, and voices that challenge you to grow, your mind shifts. Suddenly, you begin to see opportunities where you once saw problems. You start speaking differently, thinking differently, and acting differently. You elevate yourself not by chance but by choice. Protecting your mind isn't about shutting the world out. It's about consciously choosing what deserves access to your mental space. Not every voice deserves to be heard. Not every piece of information deserves to be consumed. Your mind is not a dumping ground. It is the command center of your life, and you must guard it accordingly. This is not about being overly cautious or paranoid. It's about being intentional. If you want to win in life, you must deliberately feed your mind with strength, clarity, and wisdom. Read books that challenge your thinking. Watch content that empowers you. Speak to people who force you to rise to a higher level. Every moment, you are either strengthening your mind or weakening it. There is no neutral ground. Every input becomes output. Every thought shapes your identity, and every identity defines your actions. The chain always begins in the mind, which means guarding it is not optional. It's essential. When you understand this, your priorities shift. You no longer waste energy on conversations that drain you. You stop entertaining the voices that doubt you. You stop consuming things that steal your focus. Instead, you create boundaries so strong that nothing toxic can get through. You treat your mind like the rare treasure it is. Because once you protect it, once you control what enters it, you unlock the true power of thought. And from that place, your life begins to transform in ways most people can only dream of. Guard your mind like it's gold, because it is. The thoughts you allow in today will decide the life you live tomorrow. Protect them, feed them, strengthen them, and your future will thank you for the discipline you practice today. Most people assume that the first thought that comes into their mind must be true. They don't question it. They don't challenge it. They accept it like it's a fact written in stone. But here's the truth. The first thought is often nothing more than a reflection of your conditioning, your fears, your past experiences, or even someone else's influence. It's rarely the highest version of you speaking. It's the easiest, most automatic response your brain has been trained to produce. If you never stop to question it, you are essentially living your life on autopilot, ruled not by truth but by reflex. Think about the times when an opportunity came your way. What was your first thought? I'm not ready. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? That wasn't truth. That was fear disguised as logic. Or maybe someone gave you feedback and your first thought was, they don't like me. I must not be valuable. That wasn't reality. That was insecurity talking. The danger lies in confusing these automatic reactions with reality. Correct thinking demands that you pause and ask yourself, is this thought helping me or limiting me? Is this thought moving me forward or pulling me back? Without this filter, you will always be controlled by the lowest, weakest parts of your mind. The strongest people are not those who never have negative thoughts. They are the ones who refuse to be slaves to them. They know that the brain is wired to take shortcuts, to look for danger, to protect itself by avoiding risk. That wiring kept humanity alive in the past, but today it keeps people stuck. It convinces them not to take chances, not to speak up, not to dream bigger. Correct thinking requires you to step outside of this automatic programming and deliberately rewrite it. You must learn to treat your thoughts like visitors at the door. Some may enter, some must be rejected, and only a few deserve to stay. This discipline changes everything. Imagine if every time a limiting thought entered your mind, you paused and asked, where did this thought come from? Is it based on fear or is it based on truth? By doing this, you instantly weaken its power over you. You stop reacting blindly and start responding intentionally. That shift from reaction to intention is where real growth happens. It is the difference between living a life dictated by fear and creating a life fueled by courage. Without this mental filter, you will always be chasing shadows, believing lies, and sabotaging yourself before you even begin. It takes courage to reject your first thought. It feels uncomfortable because your mind clings to the familiar. But the moment you start interrogating your thoughts, you step into freedom. You realize you don't have to believe everything you think. You can challenge it, replace it, and rewire it. Over time, your default thoughts change. Where there used to be fear, you will find confidence. Where there used to be doubt, you will find clarity. Where there used to be excuses, you will find action. This doesn't happen overnight. It happens through the daily practice of catching, questioning, and reshaping your thoughts. That's how correct thinking is built, not in one moment, but through consistent, intentional mental training. The reality is simple. Your first thought is rarely your best thought. But your second thought, the one you choose after questioning, the one you design with purpose, that thought has the power to change your life. Stop being loyal to the voice of fear. Stop accepting weak thoughts as truth. You have the authority to rewrite the script playing in your mind. And once you do, you will no longer be at the mercy of your conditioning. You will be the author of your destiny. Challenge every thought. Reject the ones that weaken you. Build the ones that strengthen you. Because the quality of your thinking determines the quality of your life. And once you master your thoughts, you master your future. There are two kinds of thinkers in this world: those who obsess over problems and those who obsess over solutions. The first group can describe every detail of what's wrong, why it's wrong, and how unfair it is. They can complain with the precision of an expert. But here's the truth: complaining doesn't change anything. You can describe the storm in perfect detail, but until you build a shelter, you will still get wet. Correct thinking refuses to stop at identifying the problem. It demands that you ask, now what? What's my move? How do I solve this? Because in the end, life doesn't reward those who can complain the loudest. It rewards those who can think their way through challenges and execute solutions. When you only focus on the problem, your energy collapses inward. You feed the very thing you're trying to escape. That's why people who complain the most feel the most stuck. They keep rehearsing the pain instead of rehearsing the plan. Correct thinking shifts your focus outward and forward. It doesn't deny the problem, but it refuses to get trapped by it. Instead, it channels energy into creating a path forward. You cannot grow if you're busy glorifying obstacles. The key is simple: whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on the problem, it grows bigger. If you focus on the solution, possibilities start to multiply. Every major breakthrough in history came because someone refused to get stuck in the problem. The world said, "It can't be done." The thinker said, "How can it be done?" The difference lies in the quality of their questions. Weak thinking asks, "Why me? Why is this happening?" Strong thinking asks, "What now? What's the next move?" That one shift in questioning transforms your mindset from a victim to a creator. And when you approach life as a creator, problems become puzzles. And puzzles always have solutions if you're willing to look hard enough. This doesn't mean solutions appear instantly. Sometimes the first attempt fails. Sometimes the second attempt fails too. But correct thinking doesn't quit at failure. It learns from it. It adapts. It finds a different angle. It's relentless. People who live stuck in problems treat failure as the end. People who live in solutions treat failure as data. They ask, "What did this teach me? How can I use this?" With this mindset, even setbacks become fuel. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is final. Every challenge becomes a stepping stone toward growth. Correct thinking also requires courage. Because solutions often demand action, and action feels uncomfortable. It's easier to sit in the comfort of complaining than it is to take responsibility and move. But the moment you choose solutions over problems, you take your power back. You're no longer waiting for someone else to fix things. You're creating the fix. That shift makes you unstoppable. Problems lose their grip over you because you no longer give them more energy than they deserve. Instead, you pour your energy into building, creating, and advancing. This is the mindset of leaders, innovators, and achievers. They are not defined by the problems they face, but by the solutions they produce. They understand that life is a series of obstacles designed to test the strength of your thinking. If you want to rise, stop glorifying the problem. Stop rehearsing what went wrong. Redirect your thoughts into action, into possibilities, into solutions. Because when your mind becomes wired for solutions, no obstacle can stand in your way for long. The world doesn't reward those who complain. It rewards those who create. Train your mind to focus on solutions, not problems. Because the moment you shift your thinking, you stop being trapped by life and start being transformed by it. Most people are trapped in short-term thinking. They want results today, recognition tomorrow, and success by the weekend. And when it doesn't happen, they quit. This is why so many dreams die young, because people confuse speed with success. But the truth is, anything worth building takes time. Correct thinking means training your mind to hold two truths. At once think long-term while acting short-term. See the big picture clearly, but execute the daily steps relentlessly. It's not either or, it's both. Without vision, you have no direction. Without action, you have no progress. Together, they make you unstoppable. Think long-term. That means daring to imagine your life 10, 20, 30 years from now. It means asking, who do I want to become? What kind of impact do I want to leave? Most people are too afraid to think that far ahead. They're so consumed with today's distractions that they forget tomorrow is being built right now. Vision requires courage because it forces you to think bigger than your current reality. It demands that you ignore the noise of instant gratification and focus on the legacy you're building. When you lock your eyes on a long-term vision, the chaos of the present doesn't control you. You rise above it. But vision alone is not enough. Too many people dream in decades, but fail in days. They talk about the empire they'll build, but can't master the discipline of today. Correct thinking requires translating that massive vision into small, focused actions right now. What are you doing today that aligns with the future you want? If the answer is nothing, then your vision is just fantasy. Action is what transforms vision into reality. It's the small daily choices. The workout, the study session, the phone call, the discipline that stack up and create the future you dream of. Without execution, vision is just decoration. When you combine long-term vision with short-term action, you become unstoppable. Every small win today feeds into something greater tomorrow. Every failure today becomes a lesson that strengthens you for the future. Correct thinking doesn't get discouraged by how far the finish line seems. It gets fueled by the fact that every step forward is progress. People fail not because the goal is too far, but because they expect the journey to be short. They burn out chasing shortcuts instead of building brick by brick. Stop chasing shortcuts. Build solid. Build smart. Build for the long game. This mindset also protects you from impatience. Impatience destroys more dreams than failure ever will. The gym goer who quits after 2 weeks, the entrepreneur who gives up after the first setback, the artist who stops after the first rejection, they all fail because they confuse slow progress with no progress. Correct thinking teaches you that growth is not always visible, but it is always happening. The seeds you plant today may not bloom tomorrow, but give them time, nurture them daily, and one day they will turn into a forest. Trust the process, but work the process. That balance is where true success lies. And here's the ultimate truth. Thinking long-term while acting short-term builds character. It transforms you into someone who doesn't just want results but deserves them. It forces you to grow, to discipline yourself, to master patience while sharpening action. When you finally arrive at the success you envisioned, You will realize it was not just about the destination, but about the person you became along the way. That's the real reward. The transformation that happens in the grind, in the persistence, in the patience. Think in decades, act in days. Hold the vision, trust the process, and commit to the daily grind. Because when you marry long-term vision with short-term execution, you don't just create success, you create a legacy. Emotions are powerful. They can ignite action, inspire change, and fuel ambition. But emotions are also dangerous when left unchecked. Fear, anger, doubt, jealousy. These feelings can cloud judgment and hijack your decision, making if you allow them to take control. Correct thinking doesn't mean ignoring emotions or pretending you don't feel them. It means learning to master them, to acknowledge their presence without surrendering your choices to them. Because the moment you let emotions rule your decisions, you hand over the steering wheel of your life to forces that are temporary, unstable, and unpredictable. Fear is the loudest of them all. It will scream in your head every time you're about to take a step forward. It will exaggerate risks and convince you that staying still is safer than moving. Anger is just as destructive. It pushes you to act impulsively, to make choices you later regret, to burn bridges that you may one day need. And then there's doubt, the quiet assassin. It whispers softly in your ear, making you second, guess yourself until you sabotage your own progress. These emotions are not signs of weakness, they're part of being human. But if you don't discipline them, they will discipline you. Strong thinkers understand the balance. Feel deeply but think clearly. They know how to take a breath when fear screams. They know how to pause when anger rises. They know how to separate temporary emotion from permanent decision. They treat emotions like signals, not commands. Fear signals that you're stepping into growth. Anger signals that your boundaries are being tested. Doubt signals that you're leaving your comfort zone. The wise don't blindly obey these signals. They interpret them, filter them, and then choose their actions with clarity. That's the difference between emotional slavery and emotional mastery. This discipline doesn't come naturally. It must be trained. It begins with awareness. Most people don't even notice when emotions are controlling them. They react instantly, without thought. But correct thinking inserts a gap between feeling and action. That gap is where power lives. In that pause, you regain control. You can choose to act with wisdom instead of impulse. This pause is not weakness, it's strength. It's the moment where you prove to yourself that you are in control of your life, not your emotions. Mastering emotions also gives you influence. Leaders who explode in anger lose respect. Parents who operate from fear pass insecurity to their children. Partners who live in doubt poison relationships. But those who can remain calm in chaos, steady in storms, and clear in moments of pressure become anchors for others. People trust them, follow them, and lean on them. Because emotional control is not just about protecting yourself. It's about elevating everyone around you. When your emotions are stable, your presence becomes powerful. At the end of the day, emotions are a gift, but they are not a guide. They are meant to be felt, not followed. They add color to life.